Well, I'm awake. I have the motivation to make a video, but it might not make any sense at all. So, I'm sitting here. It's another night of this whole thing keeping me awake, but at least there's like drive. About 3 in the morning, and all I can think about is sports. The Lightning have won the Stanley Cup. Oh, that feels good to hear. Sounds good to hear, too. Now, I'm not like the biggest Lightning fan in the world. I've been in Florida my whole life. I may have mentioned that before. Most of you already know that because you're people I know from somewhere else where I've said it. But, so anytime a Florida team was doing well, especially one in particular, but in any sport, I would root for them. I remember the Bucks winning the Super Bowl. I remember the Rays making the World Series. I remember the Marlins winning it the second time. I'm not that old. Now the Lightning. And I remember vaguely the Lightning winning in 04. But now I'm here where a team has won a grand prize. And I know all of the Christianese answers to these things, that it doesn't ultimately matter, which is true, that they are not going to be able to take that wonderful, beautiful trophy with them when they go, which is biblical and also quite true. And all of those things. But it just feels really good. It feels really good to be in a place where something has won. Probably pull a lot of biblical things out of that. We have a lot of seasons in our life like that. And where, you get used to seeing success from afar. You look at someone else's, especially easy on social media. You see someone else's Instagram, someone else's Twitter, someone else's Snapchat, someone else's Facebook, whatever else people use that is social and also media. Maybe even LinkedIn has that. I don't know. I'm not that sophisticated. And you see the successes, but it always seems to be happening somewhere else. Of course, there's a whole separate thing to be said about viewing the successes of others and only what the pictures and posts show. But just the fact that sometimes it feels like the victory is so far away or always goes to somebody else, and you're in, like, say in my case, let's go bring it back to sports. I don't know if you've noticed, I'm not wearing it now, but I don't know if you've noticed, but I am a Jaguars fan. Like I said, one team to rule them all, and it would be Jacksonville Jaguars. They haven't done a whole lot of good, and not in a long, long time. And those are the days. They haven't done a lot of good. They made an AFC Championship game on essentially a fluke that they have paid for ever since. And before that, missed the playoffs by various degrees. Some, like there's like a 2-14 season where you just knew going into it that way your team was going to be the Jets of that year. And then you had another one. I know there was a season we were 8-5. Couldn't tell you which one. I always have to look it up when someone asks, when it gets brought up in conversation, which is, as you can tell, being a Jags fan not in Jacksonville doesn't happen very often. We were 8-5, and we were one. All we had to do was win one of those last 3 games, and we were in the playoffs. And we lost all of them and missed it. And it just feels like sometimes our life can be that way. Some seasons you go into it and you're like, well, yeah, there's a lot of work that needs to be done here before this even resembles a success. And sometimes you go into a season and it has all this hope, kind of like the Lightning last year, they had all these scores and were winning all these games, and you have seasons where it just seems like everything is clicking, and then it very suddenly doesn't. Very suddenly. But when you have that moment that the Lord allows you to have, the Lord is with you even in those first round exits of life for your 2 and 14 seasons. When you have those moments when you're the one on the mountaintop, it doesn't even have to be at a Stanley Cup level. It can be just anything that brings you to a point where you realize where you can experience victory, experience joy, experience hope. Not just hope believed, but hope seen. Prayers answered, deliverance brought, whatever the case is, whatever comes to mind when this is brought up, that all of the other things are worth it. Those radio hosts of Lightning have been there since they won it in 04, and I looked up some of those records they've had over the years the other day because I've been keeping up with it this year, obviously. Wow, Lightning have had some rough seasons between 04 and now. They stayed. You know what? We'll have really good seasons of life, and we'll have really terrible ones. We'll have ones where it looks good and it ends badly. We'll have things where it looks badly, like this one, and end well. All sorts of the whole gamut as it goes. You know who's always there? The Lord is. He's always there, and He's better than any radio commentator, any coach, any manager, because He's not only is He here, and whatever that season means to you now in September of 2020, He's also at the end of it. When you have your deliverance, when you have your breakthrough, when you have your surviving of this season, which is why I always tell people, don't give up. I get it. I've wanted to give up a lot. I've wanted to give up in high school. I wanted to give up in community college. I wanted to give up at schools and experiences and friendships and even family bonds over the years. Even since then, I wanted to give up. By and large, staying here, seeking the Lord, finding Him, and then staying with Him. It's the only reason I'm still here. I don't know about you, but if I didn't know the Lord, I wouldn't be sitting here. I wouldn't be here at all. And for all that life has been in 2020 and years like it, and the personal aspect of it, I'm glad that He's at the end of this too. Whatever He's gonna bring me through or to that breaks these funks, these ups and downs, these roller coaster days. He's already brought us all through so much in our lives. Just this year, or just this month, or just this calendar season, or whatever the case may be. I know this is a little all over the place. What isn't? But sports can teach you a lot. And I'm glad that I know the Lord and that He is willing to, even if I don't understand why I care about sports, and I don't get it. I'm not athletic. I've never had a job in the industry, like an official one. But I've always cared. Sometimes more than others, but I always cared about sports, and I'm glad that I know the Lord, that He can show Himself even in that. When you find Him, He's beyond it. He's bigger than it. He's more important than your hobbies, your interests. He's more important than your passions and your goals and your dreams, your plans. And He's worth it. I hope some of this made sense. I love you all very much. keep going. I know some of these dates are they just make you question why God woke you up in the morning, but he doesn't do those things on accident. Take everything day by day. Hold your loved ones close. You never know when their last day or your last day is. So just be present in the moment before the moment is gone and you miss it being in the present. You know that God is here and there at the same time, so you can trust Him. I love you, and I will see you all in the next video.